Yo, what's good, guys? So today we're reacting to why America sucks at everything. That's a bold statement, but it's probably true in a way. There's stuff that's out there that I probably haven't seen. Let's watch. Up next, America is bad at everything. America continues to be bad at everything. Rap pageant.
America is the greatest country on earth. The strongest, the richest, the most powerful country on earth. As an American, I'm sure you've heard that roughly 135 times a year. 235 if you go to public school.
I say that a lot.
335 if you go to a Christian academy. We're told that Americans have the best lives of any people in the world. That we have low taxes, small government, and the highest living standards on earth. And most inaccurately, that we're the freest. Well, it is partly true. America is the richest country, not just in the world, but in the history of the world.
And the strongest.
It's really hard to comprehend.
Hey, but look, don't even say like, oh, look, he's saying America's the strongest, this and this. I mean, all the nukes, apart from Russia, no one really can stand against America. It's not even like favoritism. It's just true. That is pretty much, because okay, let's name any country, like UK, North Korea, all those countries, they have nukes, but they know America's stronger than them. But the freedom stuff, nah. There's even they're banning like freedom of speech things, and it's funny because land of the free. But it's shocking, but you gotta live with that. That's just how it is.
Just how rich we are. We have 18 million people who are millionaires. American households own about $100 trillion in wealth, an almost unthinkable amount of money. Okay, so America
the royal
is
family
the richest
in Saudi
ever,
Arabia has that.
But there's a curious paradox. Most Americans actually have a much worse standard of living than people who live in poorer countries like Germany or Finland or Britain. But how can that be? That shouldn't make any sense. Well, here's the shitty deal.
Though.
Americans get significantly worse services because our tax dollars don't fund them. So of course our services are worse, and thus we enjoy less happy lives than people who live in the aforementioned countries. Not that difficult a concept to conceive, really. You get what you pay for, said the cartoon dog to the other cartoon dog. And while you might think the reason American tax dollars don't fund as many services is because we pay lower taxes than other countries, that's not even true. When you add federal, state, local, and sales taxes and include other costs and services that our taxes don't cover but other countries' taxes do, like our uniquely high health insurance premiums, you'll find that Americans actually give away more of their wage.
Bro, insurance is a scam. If you're gonna die, you're gonna die, bro. Like, this bury me insurance, that stuff is all counterfeit. Those guys lie to you. It's like, yeah, just insurance is just a scam. Just know that. It's instinct to know that. It's like, when a baby knows they have to drink milk at birth or they have to suck, blah, blah, blah. That's how it works. And this is how when you hear insurance, you're like, yeah, these guys just want money. They don't care about you. Health insurance. Oh, these guys must care about my health. Nah, they want money. They love money. I love money too. I'd probably do that if I were them. But you see, the sales tax, man, this is why I hate the stores. You always check. You buy like a cookie for like $2, and you see they tax. You're like, yo, bro, it's $2. Why are you taxing me? So these guys make a lot of money, so I don't know. And then they always give you that school excuse, but the schools at least make them
most
better.
Of the developed world.
The lunches weren't that good.
For example, in Canada, for a married worker with 2 kids, all of the previously mentioned costs combined, from taxes to health insurance premiums, make up only 11% of the average wage. In the UK, it's just about 26%. Meanwhile, once you tack on the cost of our outlandish health insurance premiums, you're spending a whopping 43% of your paycheck. That's more than France, Finland,
Man,
Sweden,
I'm glad I
Norway.
don't work.
In real reality, Americans keep much less of what we own than in other countries. In other countries, their government takes a bit more tax, but then gives that money back to their citizens in the form of healthcare or job support, or a general safety net for all vulnerable citizens, no matter how dusky they are. So what do Americans get for the money we pay in? Well, sure, we get a crumbling infrastructure, shameful homelessness, and millions of hungry, neglected children, but we also get some of the worst services in the developed world. Again, our healthcare. American healthcare is simultaneously the most expensive, the least efficient, and the least effective healthcare system in the developed world.
Told you it's a scam.
Hey,
I'd never
the
go to a
devil's
hospital
trifecta.
if I was sick.
And in exchange for this extremely expensive, inefficient healthcare system, what do we get? Well, we get some of the worst health outcomes in the developed world. We have fewer hospital beds
This
per
guy
capita
hates
than people
America.
in Turkey or Brunei. Americans have a lower life expectancy than people in Lebanon or Cuba. And in the Mississippi Delta and much of Appalachia, life expectancy is lower than in Bangladesh. In fact, in 2017, the United Nations sent a commissioner to West Virginia to document what he saw, and he described, quote, third world conditions of absolute poverty, unquote. We even have a higher infant mortality rate than people in Russia and Serbia.
Oh, well, I mean, why Russia specifically? What's so bad about Russia aside from it being cold? Man, they don't care about the babies. Aw, poor babies. Man, I'm glad I'm not a baby anymore. That suck. You know, in all honesty, yeah, being a baby isn't that good for you. Yeah. But like I was saying, it's a lot of this stuff is not surprising. It's just money. They're businessmen and women. They want the more money, the more people that are sick, the more people that are dying, the more money they're making. So that's why, like, I'd rather, if it's like, if let's say I broke an arm and they're like, oh, okay, bro, let's call the ambulance. I'd be like, nah, I'm straight. I'm perfect. I'm fine. I'll walk it off. Or I'll shake it off or something, because, dude, it's super expensive. I'm sure I'm glad I've never been in an ambulance, but I know it's crazy money, and I don't want to pay. I'll just be, I'll move it around. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. That's all you have to say. Never call the ambulance, bro. You just see, oh, 10K. For a hospital visit that didn't even cure me. What am I paying for?
In every single metric, America does worse across the board. So why is healthcare so expensive? Because it's so complicated. You have to look for in-network physicians, schedule an established care appointment, beg for coverage from your insurance company that couldn't care less about you, and that's if you're lucky enough to have good insurance. Compare that to Britain and all of those other evil, socialist-like countries where it's simple. Public hospitals provide free treatment to people who need it. That's it. I'll repeat that. Public hospitals provide free treatment to people who need it. And here's the best part. Even though Britain offers healthcare for free, their system is actually a lot cheaper to run than ours. Per capita healthcare spending in the US is almost 3 times what it is in Britain, and almost 5 times what Canadians spend. In fact, Americans spend the most per person of any country in the world for healthcare. But the free market is more efficient, you screech.
Spend money
But
on
in
me.
America, private systems often aren't efficient at all. Private drug companies have an incentive to charge whatever they can get away with for pharmaceuticals. In Canada, a carton of insulin costs about $20. In the US, it costs $300. And with
Whoa. I don't have diabetes, but I know this is a lot for insulin. Holy, that stuff is found in plants, glucose. Am I right? I think I'm right. Yeah, something like that. 300, oh boy, you have me. I'm gonna go eat plants. I'll be fine. Having diabetes must be bad. Oh boy, 300. See, I should start an insulin business. I should go to Canada, buy, let's see, because they cost 20, buy 100 for 2,000, come to America, sell them for 250. I'm like, that's $50 off what you'd pay your insurance company and I'd make money. Business, bro. I should start that. I should start this. That's a good idea. Scam people.
Insurance companies
Just
footing
take
the
off
bill, hospitals
50%.
have an incentive to get as much money out of patients as possible, too. In 2015, the average cost of an MRI
profit.
scan in the US was $1,119. But it was only
I did one for
$250
free.
in Australia. Spain, about
I
$181.
could have sworn my insurance
And our
company
healthcare system
made
is so
me one for
inefficient that we
free.
spend over a third of our cost on administration. The United States spends significantly
What?
more on administration than we spend on preventative or long-term healthcare. That's just not smart. Okay, we get it. We all know that American healthcare is so much more expensive, you say, but that's the cost of having the freest freedom in God's favorite country. Well, guess what? Medical procedures that are totally free in Britain, like giving birth, cost tens of thousands of dollars in the United States. I mean, you want to talk about the cost of freedom. Sadly, because of these high costs, Americans often avoid going to the doctor, something almost half the population say they do. With shoddy or non-existent health insurance.
Bro, I just admitted to that, bro. I think like a few weeks ago, I had a cold. I mean, honestly, bro, you shouldn't go to the hospital for a cold. No one does. Just stay home, take a little nap, and you'll be fine. Nobody ever goes for like the flu or any of that. So, yeah, you're just a little kid, a little princess if you're whining about the cold. What should you go to the hospital for? I don't know. Honestly, it's all a scam. If you're gonna die, you're gonna die. Spoiler alert. Let's see, maybe you should go if you, I don't know what would send me to the hospital, honestly. Maybe if I'm not breathing, maybe that. Aside from that, everything else, I'll try to handle. If I won't die the next day, I'll stay home.
Americans will wait until their conditions force them into the emergency room where treatment is far more expensive. Again, not a smart system.
Yeah.
Quite often, they end up putting off medical visits and dying. Susan Finley, a 53-year-old Walmart employee in Colorado, got pneumonia and took one day off of work beyond what Walmart's policy allows. So of course, Walmart's gonna Walmart, which they did by firing her. Without her job, she lost her nominal health care coverage, she struggled to find new work, and after avoiding a visit to the doctor for flu-like symptoms, she was found dead in her apartment.
Aww.
When Americans do manage to get treated,
That's pretty bad.
They frequently can't afford it. Simple, life-saving treatments can cost tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That's why you have to be
rich. If they don't have
rich.
really good insurance, they're forced to take on medical debt. Tens of millions of Americans owe medical debt, often into the tens of thousands of dollars. Meanwhile, in a country like Britain or Norway, medical debt is almost unheard of. But hey, that's why GoFundMe is such a critical component of American healthcare. 1 in 3 GoFundMe campaigns is now for medical bills. I'll repeat that. 1 in 3 GoFundMe campaigns is now for medical bills. America is such a strong, powerful, rich, and great country that its citizens have to beg strangers on the internet for money so they can get life-saving treatments that are free in the rest of the developed world. But hey, that's just healthcare. Americans get terrible deals wherever.
That is healthcare.
Let's take work, for example. Americans work longer hours than people in any other rich country in the world, and that's not because they enjoy sleep deprivation and not seeing their families for days at a time. It's because they don't want to starve, or freeze, or die. See, America has the least generous job support programs, the least generous family benefits, and the least generous unemployment benefits of any wealthy country. It's one of the only countries on Earth that doesn't guarantee paid time off for vacations. It doesn't even help provide paid time off for parents who just had a child. And it's not coincidental that we're also one of the most hostile countries to workers' rights. America has one of the lowest unionization.
Yeah, I love this animation. Yeah, but in all honesty, what he said is true. I won't even go in depth about that stuff. But hey, I don't know. I can't. You can't really. Uh, you just got to be rich. If you're rich, life is easy anywhere, but it's easier here if you're rich. That's why everybody's trying to be rich. That's why you gotta be rich. But with the yeah, but that's pretty wild. Like imagine giving birth and you gotta go to work the next day. Yeah, I'd be mad too. I'd be mad too. I'm glad I don't give birth. That would just make me mad too. I guess being a man
Rates in the
benefits me
entire
in a way.
world. Maybe this
Beautiful.
deprivation, our refusal to give people the means to lead a good, dignified life commensurate with how rich our country is, can explain a bit of what we've seen in the United States over the last few decades. Fraying communities, rising rates of depression and suicide, huge numbers of deaths from drug overdoses. These so-called deaths of despair, suicide, drug overdoses, alcoholic liver disease, they're one big reason why American life expectancy has actually started to decline over the last few years. And with such poor conditions, it's not a
Decline
surprise
is
that
crazy.
poverty is so rampant in the United States. America devotes a smaller percentage of spending on social welfare than any other industrialized.
Oh, yo, I heard in New York they're building these they've already built them, these ramps. Homeless people would fall asleep on like chairs or something like that. Then they built the or on the ground or something. I might be saying it wrong, but they built these ramps where like you can't sleep. It's like holes and like it's just like they're just built to stop homeless people from sleeping on the streets. That's all. They're like, shoo, go somewhere else. And that's pretty wild to me. But honestly, yeah, even the winter, I just sometimes I go outside and it's freezing and I'm like, yo, somebody's really out here sleeping. Cold, freezing to death. Life is crazy, man. Life isn't fair. Hey, and I'm just nothing I say would change. Everybody loves money. The profits they get from all this stuff is so good that they can't stop it. No one's gonna stop this. I can't magically be president and oh stop. Nah, nope. They'd probably kill you off if you
economy
do that stuff.
because, say it with me, socialism is evil. It's evil. Go to Denmark and try telling those happy, healthy families enjoying their paid vacation that their system of government is evil. Guess what? I guarantee they'll know you're an American. But I digress. America also has the highest rate of child poverty of any developed country, and the highest percentage of workers
Child
earning
poverty.
significantly less than the national median income. That seems pretty evil to me, especially since such a tiny fraction take as much of your money for themselves and their families as you will let them. All the while, both parties smile and shake hands. Across every single metric, no people accept a worse deal than Americans today. High taxes, high cost of living for next to nothing in return from the government. The most expensive healthcare system for the worst health outcomes. More money taken from workers for the highest rate of child poverty. We are the richest country in the history of the world, but we have fewer miles of high-speed rail than Uzbekistan. We are the greatest country in the world, yet we have the most people in prison of any country, and the highest incarceration rate as well, and a higher rate of police killings than in Angola and Sudan. America is bad at everything because instead of choosing to make life better for people through a public healthcare system or more generous childcare policies or better public transit or programs that allow people to spend more time with their families, American law is designed and crafted to protect a class of parasitical middleman industries. Instead of using a proportionally tiny piece of the massive amount of the wealth in this country to make people's lives healthier and happier, most of our elected leaders are, and have been for generations, engaged in a massive project of looting. Gently and lovingly.
Yeah, because no one cares about people. Money at the end of the day. If you're stacking up bread, you're the man. Man, it's I watched a bunch of these videos saying how bad America is. And yeah, most of it is true. Is if you don't work, you'll be homeless. That's the reality. But yeah, that's all there is to it. let me see. But it is, but it's kind of it's so funny how like all the living standards and all that is are they're terrible, but the military is crazy. It's strong. You could say it's the strongest in the world, but living standards, good luck. Just hope you're born into a rich family or something, because life is tough.
Providing as much money as possible from working people into the pockets of the well-connected and the ultra-rich. Think about that as we start hearing about the inevitable rise in homelessness, poverty, starvation, and sickness that will occur during these coming months and years in the greatest,
Maybe I should be
strongest,
president.
richest, most powerful country on the face of the earth. I'm David Cross.
Oh, this guy
Goodwill
looks
Institute.
tired. All right, thank you, Mr. Cross. Man, I hope he made a change with this video, because I think a lot of people will just ignore this. And honestly, oh, let me read some of the comments. Like this one says, what's amazing is that people actually exist to defend this corrupt system. Yeah, a lot of people defend it. Why not? I mean, they live there and they're brainwashed. Let's see. The real tragedy of America is that the richer Americans have convinced the non-richer Americans that other non-rich people are the problem. That's why there's racism and all this stuff. Like it's broke people saying just all this stuff, segregating each other. Like, oh, you're broke, you're black, you're white, and you are all broke. All the rich people, it doesn't matter what color they are, they're using you, and that's the good, that's the good thing about brainwashing people. Yeah, but if you made it this far, thank you and have a nice day.